everybody, how are you guys doing? Today, I'm doing my first ever Survivor tier list, and this one is for the new update, which just came out yesterday. It's Castle Kandar. I am about to put out a video showing off the new map soon, and some of the new features and changes, which are pretty rough. Let me just say that. But for now, it's the tier list. But before we get into it, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and join the Discord, because you don't want to play alone, I don't want to play alone, I don't want to have to deal with Cheryl running off on her own, so why don't you come and play with us, you know? I like to play with people on stream, but other than that, let's get straight into it. Yo, so I have to record this shit again because I updated Windows and my microphone was not picking up everything correctly. So yeah, I'm wearing something different than I was at the start of the video. Anyway, let's get into the actual tier list. Starting off, I have Amanda is at the very bottom. I do want to preface this by saying that this is all my opinion, all my experience with the characters. I have played every character enough to at least understand most of their ability and how to use it and everything, but I have gotten more play with other characters than, you know, I haven't played every character equally. But what I can say is that Amanda is not a good character for me. And the reason why is because I feel like her weapon mastery is basically useless, because in my opinion, I know other people disagree with me, they find the pistol to be a very good weapon. I do not. I think it is terrible. It is an alright weapon in terms of damage and the fact that you can shoot and stun lock possessed people, but you can also become possessed and then stun lock your team, which I think is a huge detriment, and it makes it to where I think that absolutely nobody should ever use a pistol ever, but that's just my opinion. So that makes it so that she does not do very good for me. I'm also not a big fan of the blunderbuss, so her one-shot build doesn't really give me too much glee either, but I am sure you can get a lot of use out of her. Something else I do want to say about the list is that every character is very good. There's not a character that, like, you shouldn't play because they're so bad or anything. Every character is very good, they're all viable, use them. I mean, there's probably characters that if you use them in a certain way, they could shoot up this tier list, but for my playthrough, Amanda, definitely my least favorite survivor to use. She just doesn't feel that good for me. I wouldn't normally pick her, but maybe I'll play her some more in the future for the tutorial and everything, and I'll have a different opinion. On to the second character, and that is Scotty. Scotty is a good damage dealer. He's very good at just beating the shit out of stuff and getting high amounts of damage. I mean, I've seen a level 1 Scotty easily get 40k damage and shoot up to the top of the leaderboard. Usually he gets around 60k to 100k damage depending on how long a game lasts, but it's about all he does well. He does have a lot of dismemberment, which is good. I just don't think this guy is a hell of a team player. His ability does have some crowd control, I guess, but not really as much as, like, Leader Ash's. I think his skill is honestly just a worse version of Leader Ash's ability, if that makes any sense. Now, I think if you were able to use his ability in a way that they were meaning for it to be, which I think you were supposed to be getting a lot of AoE damage and then finishing every enemy with your explosions so that you get a ton of fear reduction, that kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really work that way. And the fear reduction on this guy just is not enough. 5 per kill, it doesn't really change the game that much, especially because warriors are the most fear-prone class, along with hunters. So it's just pretty rough playing with him. I don't think he is really up there in team usability. Now, on to C tier. I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I'm sorry, man. He just, I don't like him much. In my personal use of him, because I know a lot of people do get really good use out of him, he just cannot take damage. I have some points in industrial strength, and he just he just dies so fast. Quicker than any other hunter, honestly. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's perception. I don't know what it is, but I just cannot survive. I have literally died to AI before using him. He is just not my favorite. I try to use him because I have the Savini skin and I want to get some use out of it, but ugh, I don't know, man. He just dies fast, and his weapon mastery, the double barrel, is rough. I don't know what it is about the double barrel. There are other people that probably have different experiences, but every time I use that double barrel, it has the same reticle as the boomstick. It has the same everything. It's basically the same gun in every way. The double barrel just does not have good hit tracking for me. I will get a perfect headshot on an enemy. It just doesn't track for some reason. Like, I just get absolutely no pellets off on it. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just picking up the boomstick. I don't even care about the weapon mastery. It's not good enough to use a gun that just doesn't work. But yeah, that's only my perception of him. That's my experience. You might have a different one, but for me, Evil Dead 2 Ash just does not make a good character for me. On to character 4, Support Ash. Got a little bit of a buff slash nerf, I don't know, it's kind of in between right now, but now that he's only doing 20 healing per like 100 damage he does is not very good, because he's getting more use out of slower, more damaging weapons. But I don't know, it's like you're not getting the speed out of it that you were getting 25 heal out of a knife or even a punch. You're just not getting that kind of healing anymore, and that is very, very rough. So I don't think he makes the higher tiers, especially because he's not really reliable as a support as he could be, like Cheryl. Cheryl tends to make a better support in that area, which we'll talk about later, but yeah, I don't think he makes the top of the list for me. Maybe you guys have a different experience, let me know. For the 5th character, we have Pablo. Pablo is a very, 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 very good in the early game because he is completely invisible and can just go solo the pages, go get them all in like less than 3 minutes. But the problem with Pablo is that after that 3 minutes, after you have all the map pages, you have to go do the objectives with the other players. So you're not solo anymore, you're not really hidden from the demon anymore. So at that point, you're just a normal support with an amulet basis, which is not bad, but it's not as good as you were in the early game. And you can't even solo an objective because obviously the killer will know that you're there because the objective is being done. So you can't really use that solo ability anytime else, which is kind of a detriment to him. The amulets are very good if there's 2 or more warriors on the team because they can make really good use out of those amulets, especially AOD Ash. He has some really good synergy with him, but other than that, I just don't think Pablo makes the top tier healer category anymore. On to the 6th character is Annie. Last update, I think she would have been a little higher because of that balance bar damage, but in this update, demons just lose a lot of balance bar damage very fast, and I don't think balance bar is as important in this meta. So even though she is very good and her ability is very good for balance bar, I just don't think it's as important as it used to be. So she does get taken down onto the B tier. I think she would have been A tier last one. Her active ability also doesn't bring damage up to double. It actually only brings it up 30%, which was something interesting I found out, and definitely brings her down quite a bit for me. So yeah, that definitely does not help her. So she is sitting right behind Leader Ash. Got 2 leaders in here at B tier. Leader Ash also has a balance bar thing, so with balance bar being a lot less useful this update, I just don't think that he is really in the meta like he was last update with the BP rushes. And that's pretty rough, but Leader Ash does still have a bugged fear system, so if you have 5 points in your pink F tree on fear, he actually gains negative fear from fear events like chests or traps or jump scares. So that is very good. You will never have a possessed Leader Ash if you have 5 points in fear. Very good thing to not have to worry about him. This is one character that actually can use a pistol, since it's basically impossible to put him into max fear. He actually can do very good with a pistol and shoot people out of their possession. So there is that. but I think he does sit firmly at B tier, and that's okay. Above him is Henry. I think Henry is pretty good. He gets free cars, he gets free reses, he gets free heals for people on the ground, which is very solid. So that's all very good. He is very tanky, so he can go off solo and keep the demon off of the other survivors. Very good stuff. Really speaks for itself. I don't think it's anything crazy, but yeah, awesome character. Very good to have on a team, and very nice little invincibility mechanic. On to the last character before we get to our S tiers, Ed. Ed is very solid. Being able to get through traps and everything, he's really the only good way to get through buildings to get to Evil Ash's skeleton flutist, which is really strong because everybody's using Evil Ash. That flutist is a little too strong. This being the best way to handle it is amazing. Also, he gets that explosive crossbow mastery now, and normal crossbow mastery. My first game playing with Ed, I got a purple crossbow and did 85k damage, and let me tell you, I suck at aiming the crossbow, so if I can do 85k damage, I know he is able to put out some damage. So Ed is a very strong character, gives the whole team loot. Amazing. Good shit. Love Ed. Great character. Anyway, for S tier, I wanted to do one character from every class. That's why you can see that S tier has the most characters. Just wanted to give my favorites in the entire class, so I'll explain why. But yeah, that's why there's 4 in S tier, so I wanted to do the best of all classes. In my opinion, of course. So, our 4th character in S tier, these are in order, by the way. We got Arthur. Arthur's amazing. The reason I think he's the best leader is because he buffs melee damage, which is beneficial for literally everybody. Nobody doesn't benefit from more melee damage. Kelly in particular becomes an actual warrior when paired with Arthur, using her meat hammer and basically opening up finishers in one shot. Light attack at that. I mean, unrivaled. Great character to have on your team. I think he's even more useful than Leader Ash, unless Leader Ash is using a lot of finishers. But if you have an AoD Ash on your team, which you usually do, Leader Ash and him kind of compete for finishers, which makes Arthur the better choice in my opinion, because Arthur is going to be getting finishers, but only during his wrath, so I think these two have way more synergy than Leader Ash and AoD Ash, and basically anyone else. The 3rd best character in the game, in my opinion, is Cheryl. She is pretty objectively, I think in most cases, the best healer in the game, and this is really true across every game. If you're an MMO player or you play other games like that, you'll know that supports that do burst heals tend to be the strongest classes, because they are able to maximize their healing pool and maximize the amount of survivors that get the heal. So her AoE heal is a lot bigger than the other healers, and her full heal on Shemps is a lot larger than the other supports, which does just make her the best, honestly. The only problem with Cheryl is, like, her Achilles heel, if you will, is that her main ability, of course I don't mean her active doesn't use resources, but the active is more of just a top-up in my opinion. Her healing ability comes from Shemps, and Shemps are a finite resources, especially if you get really unlucky with RNG, which is why I'm putting her as the 3rd best character and not, like, the best, because she does have that issue. She works on a finite resource, but she still is the best healer, in my opinion. The 2nd best character, and you'll be surprised to know because you'd think I'd put my main at the top, but it's gotta be Warrior Ash. 2nd best character in the game. Of course he's good. He's the 2nd best starting character. He's the best character to play starting out if you really want to play an Ashe. He is very good at melee. He does damage to the demon just for doing damage to him, which Arthur does as well, but not quite as effectively, because every time you hit Warrior Ash twice, he gets a shield reduced, and that does 144 damage to you and all of your basics around you, and they take balance bar damage, and they get knocked back. It's very strong, and I think that is worth looking into. However, the only thing that he can't do is shoot, which is why Kelly is the top tier survivor. Best one to start with. Best one to play. She's literally good at everything except healing the team. She shoots. She uses melee. She has the best weapon mastery in the game. She does whatever the fuck she wants. She has high survivability. She does anything. She even solos well. She does whatever the fuck she wants, and that is why she is easy mode for new players. Literally, even if they fix the gun glitch, which I think they did, she's still very, very strong with guns. Her meat hammer does 30% more of every stat on the thing, so she swings it 30% faster. She gets 30% more damage. I mean, she's so fast, and with an Arthur on her team, she can open up finishers with one light attack on the meat hammer. Boy, people sleep on this meat hammer. They'll be like, oh, just get an axe, because the meat hammer isn't that good. Whew, you're sleeping, dude. You're sleeping. You gotta get the meat hammer. It's so good. But, anyway, that's gonna do it for this tier list. I hope you guys found it informative. Let me know if you disagree with me in any way, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your tier list is, and we can talk about it. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and join the Discord so we can talk some more about our tier list, or even play the game so we don't have to worry about AOD ashes going off and looting and dying, basically. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Good night!